So frustrating. I just hate when the work I do gets wasted. Often imitated, never duplicated. That's what the box says.
Don't screw this one up.
Yeah. This is stressful. Who thought this was a good idea? Don't worry, I really do have a plan. Oh no. I think the heart of this whole concept is like recreating the things you ate as a kid and tasting them as an adult, realizing maybe they're not as good as you thought they were, and making a version that I love. Oh. So we're going to pick up the torch a little. Sorry, get the freezer bags out of the way. And I'm gonna try my hand at recreating some snack foods again.
It looks okay to me.
Looks okay? Thanks guys, thank you for saying that. I know a lot of mistakes that I'm not gonna make this time.
Speed, camera, speed. Quick clap.
So weird that I'm talking to Cal now. Not to be overly confident, but I already know what I'm gonna find here. I think the real novelty of these is that you had immediate access to something that felt like you had to go out to like an ice cream shop for. So it felt like an incredible treat. Let's take a look at the cross section. So this is just all plain vanilla ice cream. The whole cone has like a chocolate coating on the interior, and there's that chocolate coating that goes on the outside as well. So basic components: the cone, the ice cream filling, the chocolate coating both inside the cone and on the outside of the ice cream, and then the peanuts on top. Time to taste it. It smells good. The ice cream definitely is weird. When something's cold, it mutes the flavor. The ice cream has that really like jet puffed, aerated texture that I don't love. Doesn't really taste like real ice cream. I'm gonna grab a spoon. The peanuts help to bring it into a less sweet place because you have that kind of like savory toasted nut to balance everything out. The chocolate is mostly a textural thing. It's there to like shatter. Same satisfying thing with the creme brulee. Wow. So anything mass produced that has chocolate in it, immediately there's an opportunity to upgrade that and use like high quality chocolate. Now the cone I want to try. So when I like press on it, see how it's sort of like not breaking, it's kind of like bending. Doesn't seem like the most crisp ice cream cone. I can tell that it's just not. Okay, so here's a piece of cone that was like with the chocolate coating on it. It's not like so soft as to be chewy, but it could definitely be more crisp. Honestly, this is pretty good. Like I would enjoy eating one of these as an adult, but I would also know that I wasn't really eating high quality ice cream or chocolate, and the cone could be better too. So I kind of think it's like our perfect test subject for kind of bringing this idea back, because like I'm into it. I like it, but I'm also really into the idea of recreating it because I know I can make a lot of improvements. So I want to take a couple of measurements. I'm going to remove the ice cream from the cone part. The top of the cone diameter is from outer shell to outer shell, 4.5 centimeters. Cone length, 11. Then ice cream, the like top ice cream portion, height is about 4 centimeters. I'm going to call this the bulb. The diameter is 6 centimeters. Number one challenge of recreating this at home, you need a waffle cone maker. That I got. I was able to anticipate that we were doing this at least a little bit. So I already have that. So great. And I already have an ice cream maker. So we're good there. And I have dry ice, so I'm feeling really good. I love dry ice. It's amazing. The one thing that I didn't really prepare for or plan in advance is how am I gonna form this, like the bulb at the top of ice cream. So yes, I could use a mold. I thought about piping it, and I just kind of thought about my ice cream scoop. So I wanna grab my ice cream scoop and measure that to see if it's a similar size. It's not quite the same, but it feels really similar. Okay, so before I get started, let's see what's inside. Skim milk, sugar, peanuts, coconut oil, whey, corn syrup, bleached wheat flour, palm oil, cocoa, palm olein, soy lecithin, soybean oil, cream, guar gum, monoglyceride, milk, salt, natural flavor, carabine gum, annatto color. One thing that jumps out is coconut oil. And that makes me really think that that chocolate coating is actually coconut oil based. Coconut oil, when it's melted, is really fluid, but when it's cold or even room temp, it's pretty hard. Everything else is like so standard. I'm okay with this for the most part. My thoughts on game plan are the following. 1, make and form cone. 2, make chocolate coating. 3, make ice cream. 4, fill cones. 5, form bulbs. 6, assemble. 7, dip and coat in peanuts. Oh, can I just show you this for a second?
Yeah.
So really what I did was I spent like an inappropriate amount of time online looking for a stovetop waffle cone maker because I thought it'd be really fun and like old timey. It's not really a thing. So I ordered this one, which I picked because mostly the grates have square pattern rather than like diamonds or whatever. So I think it's gonna look really similar. The waffle maker came with this like cone form. 11 centimeters up is about there. This might be a little bit more like wide at the top than what I'm going for, but we'll see.
You could make your own form.
I could make my own form, but out of what? This is also like another great part of this is like I can rely on other pastry chefs and recipe developers. I found what looked like a really good waffle cone recipe from the pastry chef Stella Parks on Serious Eats, and I just made some modifications just based on what we were doing today. So I'm gonna mix everything with a hand blender because that is gonna ensure that everything is really, really, really well mixed. And whenever I'm working with a hand blender, a really handy vessel is a quart container because having something narrow with tall sides is perfect for like getting that hand blender in there. I need egg whites, which works out really well because the yolks I'll save for making the ice cream base because I know that's gonna be like a creme anglaise, which has egg yolks in it. 3 ounces of egg whites, 1/4 cup of white sugar, but I can just weigh everything because I know that that's 50 grams. 1/4 cup brown sugar. I'm gonna use Demerara just because I like it so much, and I'm gonna blend it so I know it's gonna all get dissolved. So 50 grams of that. 3 tablespoons melted butter. I'm gonna melt this in the microwave. Okay. I'm a little bit living on the edge here, just melting butter on full power, but that's why I'm watching it. This has to cool before I add anything. Now 2 teaspoons vanilla extract, eyeball that. 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. 1/2 teaspoon kosher. 1/4 teaspoon baking soda. This is a half, so I'll just eyeball half of that. Okay, 1/2 cup of flour. I can weigh that out. It's about 68 grams. So time to mix. So I'm gonna add the butter. I might add an extra splash of water. I had like a little bit less egg white than called for. All right, it's looking good. I'm just gonna grab a little spatula to scrape everything down. Is that gonna fall over? Oh, I'll just take it with me. Okay, I think that seems thorough enough. One classic question. How many of these do I have to make?
4.
4, okay. I really like that answer. That works for me.
A box is 8.
Well, we got the family pack, so a box is actually 12. But I'm not making that many. So there's my batter. Good consistency. Part of me wants to put this in a piping bag so I can pipe it onto the iron. But actually part of me wants to like weigh out portions so I know exactly how much to put on the iron. But it's a little bit liquid. Just thinking how do I want to get it into the iron. I have a set of ring molds, so it's like, do I pipe it, do I put a ring mold basically like this on the surface of the iron, fill it by piping, lift it up, and then, because it's gonna help me make it really round. And I'll maybe achieve something similar to like weighing it out. And I don't really know what I want as far as temperature, so min, max. I'm gonna split the difference. It's heating up. I need to grease them, but I wanna grease them like so lightly. So I'm gonna grab, I think just like a little oil. Maybe just some neutral oil on a brush. You know what, not even a brush, like a paper towel, just to rub it on. Smell the like new plastic. Oh, do you smell it?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna get my pastry bag together. I'm gonna just snip a little opening. You know, like a 1/4 inch opening, not very big. I don't remember where we got these like little tongs, but they're actually like weirdly handy. So I'm just gonna do a little oil on the paper towel. Just wanna get a little bit of oil on there. Really thin layer. This is 5 centimeters in diameter, and I wanna go to 11. So let's just see. This is gonna help me gauge how much batter. Oh my God, that came out really fast. I wanna apply a lot of pressure to the iron because I want it to get thin. It smells good.
Does smell good.
So it didn't really make a very nice circle. I might have to basically cut them with my ring cutters when they come out. Actually, that's so much easier than measuring the amount of batter. I'll just cut them into a perfect circle, the diameter that I need when they come out. Nice golden even color though, I'm really happy about that. Not even really big enough. So it's pretty close. Let's just wrap it around here and see if this is gonna give me the right size. Okay, so one problem I didn't anticipate is that there's like one higher side and where the cone meets. I mean, first of all, this looks really good, but I didn't anticipate that like I'm gonna have to cut off. Hold on, can I unwrap? No, I can't. Okay, so actually I'm gonna have to make these way bigger than I thought and then lop off the top basically. That overlap in the cone is curved. So I'm trying to picture what this shape is when it's flattened. So I wanna basically recreate that shape in paper, wrap it around the cone, see if it's gives me a cone that's like completely level at the top. And then I'm gonna recreate that shape in the waffle iron. So at the lowest point, I'm good. This will help me not only determine what is the actual shape of the thing that I'm rolling, but it will also help me determine if the mold gives me the right diameter at the opening of the cone. It's 6, so that's a little bit bigger, but at the same time, it's also kind of like exactly that size. So I'm okay with that. So it's like a football. Yeah. So new plan. This is the shape that I need. I guess you could kind of do it like that. And then you roll. So this is edge. This is point. Making myself a guide on my stencil. Let me just double check that that's correct. So it didn't totally meet. So I just have to roll really carefully, basically. And maybe figure something out about that. Maybe I'll make a new stencil that's just like really precise because I want this to be hemispherical. So I think I need to make a compass. That's a lot more cone. I kind of want to make this nicer and rounder. No, whatever. Okay, stop it. Stop it. It's gonna take forever. The question mark now is like how much batter, because I need to fill this area on once it's pressed down on the iron. It's gonna definitely take a little trial and error, but I'm gonna go for it. Oh, well, it came out the sides. Oh, wow. All right, well, that was plenty. All right, I wanna get this off of the iron. See how it's really soft and pliable like a pancake? Well, that was definitely enough batter. They're a little thick, but now I have to get it aligned on the grid, which it's not. It also shrunk a little from cooling. All right, let's just try this. I'm gonna take it off. Time to roll.
Thoughts?
It's not bad, is my first thought. I'm a little concerned about that, but I have an idea. And I'm also a little concerned that it's just not gonna be really crisp, but like looks pretty good. Nice and straight. Could always trim a little bit if I need to. What I'm thinking I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a bunch of cones like this, and then I might bake them. I could literally just like bake them like that to make sure they're really dry and really crisp. But we'll see how this cools. And I might like dab a little batter like that on that opening, so and that have that bake, so it really seals it. Because I know I have the chocolate, but when I try to fill it with liquid chocolate, it's just going to come right out that opening. And also, by the way, guys, I'm at like 10.5 centimeters because I didn't take into account that it shrinks as it continues to cook in the waffle iron because it's losing moisture. Okay, I just had an idea. I'm gonna grab my wheel cutter. This is gonna make it a lot easier to cut around my stencil. I don't think I need the oil. I'm gonna try without. It's just kind of an extra step. So now I have a game plan. I have to cut this stencil wider to account for shrinkage during the griddling. All right, it didn't stick.
It smells like an ice cream shop.
It does, right? So that looks good as far as the color. Let's get this off. There's my center point. I'm going to back off by a little bit so that I can try to overlap at the very tip of the cone. Oh, hello. I mean, I got a little too done right at the very tip, so it cracked, but more successful than the last one. It is still not like so even. New thoughts. I think I need a new stencil because I think this curve needs to be reduced so that I'm not getting that angle, and this curve needs to be increased to account for the shrinkage. Okay, I'm gonna make a new stencil. I need another piece of paper. Definitely different than just using like a compass, but oh well.
And this is gonna make it a lot better.
Let's hope. That's pretty golden, more golden than I've been making it. But the more I go on the first cook, the less shrinkage I'll have actually. It's already a little crunchy. Oh no, I hope I can still form it. It might be too late. Oh my God, I might have to go right into this. Ah! I waited too long and it cracked. I have to say, I did think it would be easier than this. See how it cracked? I went a little too long. Okay, well that proved my point that I can't do that. I do feel like it's a lot more straight. Oh my God, I really just did fill up the whole thing. Okay, so it has to be nice and blonde like this. This is super flexible, so I think that's good. Now back on to get nice and golden. Let's get that off. Oh, it smells really good though, like really toasty. I'm holding it on that seam so I can set. I want to trim it a little bit. All right, this is definitely the best one yet. Oh my God, 11. I'm right at 11 centimeters. They don't seem to be getting like better. They just seem to be like turning out slightly different. I think they're all pretty good. I think there's aspects of each one that are like, could be slightly improved. But I'm just wondering if I should make more to have like options for during assembly. So I think I should make more. Should we have lunch and then I'll make more?
Sure.
I mix up a little batter during lunch. So I have all my cones. I just want to plug that opening. So I took like the tiniest little piece of this softer but already cooked dough. Just gonna push that into the opening. I'm gonna be putting liquid chocolate in there, and definitely liquid chocolate is gonna run out the end. And now it's plugged. Do you see it?
Yep.
Just gonna do that to all of these. I'm gonna get these in the oven. It's at 200, so I want air circulation around all of them. I just want them to dry out and dehydrate. They're already pretty crisp, but I just want to guarantee that they're gonna be like all crunchy all through. Ringo. Terrible timing, terrible timing. No cat. 20 minutes, the timer went off. I'm gonna just pull one cone out of the oven and evaluate it and see if I feel like that was long enough. Oh, they opened up a little bit. Oh my God. Unforeseen issue. I have to reseal them. The inner seal is fine. It's that outer seam where it's coming undone a little bit. And I'm gonna take them out one by one and like reform them. Oh, but is it like too hard? Broke that one. Well, they're just gonna be a little open, I guess. So frustrating. I just hate when the work I do gets wasted. Now I have 11, but really I have more like 10 because this one also was broken. And also one of them, maybe more like have 9. So not the best outcome, but at least I know they're really crisp. I don't feel horrible about this. I'm gonna get my chocolate melting, but first I wanna set up a system for holding the cones right side up, like pointed end down after I coat them in chocolate. And also that's how I'm gonna fill them. We have a rooster, by the way. I'm gonna take these cartons and punch out alternating like holes. The idea is this is gonna be so delicate, but they're gonna stand like that. I mean, I love you so much and you're so cute and sweet, but no. So here I have a saucepan. I'm gonna fill it with a little water to make a double boiler. And I have a heat-proof bowl behind me. I like to start it on higher heat and then turn it down just to get it going. Not this chocolate because that's unsweetened chocolate, but this is bittersweet chocolate. I think it's like 68% maybe. Oh, kind of a lot. I know I don't need to temper it because these are frozen, so it's kind of awesome actually. Once you melt chocolate, if you don't temper it, it stays soft at room temp.
Forever?
And forever, instead of having like this texture, like it snaps. So to like reintroduce that like crisp, hard crack texture, you temper it, but I don't need to do that because it's gonna be frozen and it's gonna be hard anyway. I'm gonna do straight chocolate on the interior of the shells because that's gonna give me the most concentrated flavor. And I'm only gonna introduce the coconut oil when I have to, which is to coat, make that like shell on the outside of the ice cream. Using the double boiler is just a gentle way of melting chocolate, which is super temperature sensitive. I'll take it off the heat when it's like 80% melted, and then the last 20% will happen just from residual heat. And then I'm gonna bring it back to the front, and that's where I'm gonna coat all the cones and get them in their little racks. I think if the mixture were really fluid, I could literally pour the chocolate in and like swirl it around and then drain it. And then turn it right side up and let the remaining chocolate in there kind of like pool at the bottom, which is I'm pretty sure how they're doing it when they're like manufacturing these. But this melted chocolate isn't really that fluid. So I think what I'm gonna do is very gently paint it in the inside of the cone with this really fluffy, soft brush. And then I know I'm gonna be able to get like a really even, thin coating, which is important. And then if I need to, I can drizzle some more down in the bottom, and then it's gonna get placed one by one on the rack. If I load the brush and just kind of dab it in the bottom there, and almost like push the chocolate down, that's working. It's holding. My little plug of dough is holding. I think the technique works. I'm just gonna keep going until I have all of them coated with a little bit of chocolate settled in the bottom. Well, this part's working, thank God.
It looks kind of funny.
Funny how?
Funny like a clown?
I think what you mean is it looks so good.
They look good.
My chocolate coatings are done, but I was informed by every person here that it's not enough chocolate collecting in the bottom. So I'm gonna deposit a little bit of extra melted chocolate into the bottom of each one.
Weird question, how are you gonna freeze these?
Dry ice is my secret weapon of this entire project. It's gonna let me freeze everything so quickly that there's no chance for the ice cream to make the cone soggy. Now, I'm gonna save this chocolate. I'm just gonna scrape everything down and set it aside. I'll add more chocolate in, and then I'll also mix it with coconut oil for that final dip of the assembled cones. And the next step is make ice cream. I'm making a crème anglaise, which is a style of stirred custard. So we have like dairy and eggs and sugar, and all gets cooked on the stove until the eggs cook and the mixture thickens. Now, usually with that style, you like do what's called temper the eggs, where you heat up the dairy and pour it into the mixture of eggs and sugar, and then continue cooking it. And that is useful because it does cook faster, but I also don't feel like getting out another bowl. So I'm gonna actually assemble everything in my saucepan. I have 8 egg yolks. I'm gonna combine my eggs, then I'm gonna add my sugar, this malted milk powder. Often you'll find powdered milk called for in vanilla ice cream recipes because it just makes it like extra milky tasting, which is good. So I thought, why not use a malted milk powder, and you'll get that extra kind of malt flavor, which is like kind of savory and toasty. Kind of cut down on the sweetness a little. Then I'm gonna add a half teaspoon of salt and a tablespoon. I'm using vanilla paste. You could use vanilla extract, but I wanna see the specks of vanilla, so you could also use like a vanilla bean that you scrape. So I wanna whisk all this together really thoroughly. The tricky thing about this technique where you're combining everything in the saucepan is to make sure you don't have any trapped, unincorporated ingredients around the sides of the saucepan. So I'm gonna continue to whisk this until the mixture gets pale and a little bit voluminous. It's gonna form a ribbon. This is a step called blanching. So let's check for a ribbon. So this is like super thick and pale and voluminous. Now I'm gonna whisk in the dairy. So this is my base for the ice cream. I haven't cooked it yet, I need to cook it. But before I put it on the stove, I wanna make sure that I don't have any of the egg mixture, just kind of coating the saucepan. Like, see how I just scraped it off? You want to make sure that everything is like perfectly incorporated. Otherwise, you're going to get little overcooked spots in the bottom of the saucepan. And traditionally, you cook creme anglaise with a wooden spoon, which helps you determine when you've hit the point where the eggs are cooked, because it thickens and you use it to like coat the back of the spoon and do a little test. I'm just going to keep here with a whisk, and I'm taking out the guesswork, and I'm just going to temp it. So I'm looking for it to hit like 180. That's how I know the eggs are cooked. I'm just using my thermometer. I'm at 171, so I'm really close. I just want to bring it up a little bit more in temp. 180. Okay. This is actually a pretty large volume of creme anglaise, which is now our ice cream base. I don't think I can spin all of this at the same time in my ice cream machine. So I might have to do it in 2 batches, which is fine because actually I'm going to fill these in 2 stages anyway. So now what I need to do is I need to cool this down rapidly. Or I just need to cool it down. Rapidly is better because we don't have like all day. So I'm going to get my ice cream machine cooling, and then I'm going to plunge this into an ice bath and stir this until the creme anglaise is cold. Oh, thank goodness we have a lot of ice. Not like that time we tried to make cocktails.
Doesn't the ice cream machine do this basically?
Yeah, but it would take so long. This is faster. This mixture is cold. I'm gonna get it into my ice cream maker, which has been chilling. I'm gonna pour it into the quart before I pour it in to the machine. This is really nice creme anglaise. I don't have any like cooked on film or anything on the saucepan, so it cooked really evenly. So I'm gonna pour it in, and I can only really fill the ice cream machine halfway because it, like the whole point of an ice cream machine is to freeze it, but also to incorporate air. So it's gonna expand in volume. This machine works pretty fast. So in like 15, 20 minutes, we'll have ice cream. And I've been thinking about it in my head, and I think what I wanna do is actually freeze my cones before the ice cream goes in, because I'm gonna put it straight from the machine into the cones. And when it comes out of the machine, it's not really frozen solid. Like, it's spun, it's whipped, it's ice cream, but it's soft. And I want it to be soft because I want it to like pool down into the cone and fill up all of those spaces. But I don't want it to hydrate the cone. So if the cones are frozen, it's gonna help set the ice cream really fast. So I just wanna make this into a nice even bed so that my cones can rest on top, just like this. I'm gonna turn off the spinning mechanism and leave the cooling on because I think the ice cream is done, but I wanna taste it. Oh, it looks so good. I'm really happy I put the malted milk in it. Isn't it good? You get the malted milk, but the malted milk cuts the sweetness a little. I sort of have a difficult time determining, like, is it done or should it spin more? But it's holding its shape, but it's still really soft. I'm gonna quickly portion it into my piping bag and start to pipe into the cones and fill them. It's gonna make a little weird, like back and forth, and I might drip a little bit, but the idea is to keep everything cold so that it sets fast. It's like freezing as I put it in because it's so cold in here. I'm really getting toward the end of the day. I'd love to wrap this up. So I'm gonna get more ice cream spinning. I'm gonna chop some nuts just to have those ready. And I could probably, while the ice cream is spinning, I can also get my coating ready to go. My coconut oil. Do we have coconut oil?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. Okay. I'm gonna get all my components basically ready to go because I wanna assemble this. I might even have to do a third batch. You think I can fit all of it in?
Yeah.
Am I gonna regret this? No, I think that's okay. While that's spinning, I'm gonna chop up some peanuts. These are just dry roasted salted. I'm not gonna toast them anymore. And I don't even need to salt them. But the challenge with the peanuts is getting the pieces so uniform in size without any like bigger pieces or little fine dust. So you see those like little dusty particles? I don't want that on the cone, so I'm gonna sift it and get that out. I don't really have a mesh strainer with larger mesh. So this is like you know, maybe if I had my choice, I would have a slightly larger mesh so that even some bigger pieces fell through, but this is gonna have to do. What's left are pretty uniform pieces of peanut. I'm happy with that. Just taking some of the biggest pieces that I see, which have kind of risen to the top, and I'm breaking them in half with my fingers. So now these can go into my container. I have a metal loaf pan, I'm gonna stick it in my cooler so it's gonna get like incredibly cold. I wanna put enough ice cream in here so that I'm pretty confident I can make like at least a half a dozen of the tops. So like, I'll do it with water. 1, 2, 3. So that gives me kind of an idea of how much I wanna fill this with ice cream, and then I can take the rest of it if I have more ice cream, and I can fill the remaining cones. You know what, you guys? It's not really as frozen as you would think. It's not like frozen solid. Just want to check the texture. I think it's too soft. I'm gonna let it go a little longer. Sorry to disappoint. When the ice cream kind of like pulls away from the sides, that's when I think it's done. So I just want to look at the texture again and double check. It still seems kind of soft, but it's super fluffy. Looks great. All right, I think I'm just gonna keep going because, again, time. Grab my spatula and my loaf pan, which is cold but not crazy cold, but cold enough. And I'm just gonna portion maybe 2/3 of this ice cream into the loaf pan and kind of smooth it. This is gonna be the tops. Okay, so I have a space picked out in the freezer, the regular freezer. I'm gonna pop this in there. And now, quick pivot. I'm gonna fill the rest of the cones. It is definitely cold, just not frozen solid. Because it's not frozen solid, I'm gonna smooth the tops with the offset spatula. See how soft it is? It's really pretty soft. I do think it's, getting softer. Ah! This is stressful. It's getting late. I didn't even realize what time it was. So I'm gonna do one final step tonight, and then I think we're gonna finish up in the morning. But I wanna attach the domes to the cones. So I have to work quickly. I did sort of leave it in the freezer for as long as I really could so that both the loaf pan and the cones get really frozen. They're like not that frozen. So I really wanna load up the scoop. Oh my God, it's really not that frozen. This one's kind of a test. I mean, looks pretty good. I wanna just kind of smooth it and get it like flush with the cone everywhere. I feel like it could be a little taller. What do you guys think?
Looks okay to me.
Looks okay? All right. But I'll get a coating of
I
nuts.
think it looks good.
Okay, thanks guys. Thank you for saying that. I think you sensed my need for the consensus to be that it's fine. Oh no, starting to melt. I wanna get these back in. I can always alternate trays. Yeah, lots of good clearance, so I'm okay that way. Oh my God, this one's so soft. Just gonna get it in super fast. All right, so there are only 3 that I didn't get the top on. I think I have to let go a little bit of them being like so perfect. The dry ice did not really function the way I was hoping it would. I was hoping I could like make perfect hemispheres and place them on and have them like look so uniform. They're gonna look a little more homemade, but they're gonna taste incredible. And I think they're still gonna look like the original. So I feel good about it.
Camera cuts. Good work, everyone.
What happened last night? Why did you eat one?
I got in trouble a little bit because last night it was kind of late. Harris and I were like relaxing and he was like, can I taste one of those ice cream cones? He just wanted the cone. And I was like, well, all the cones are filled, but some of them don't have like the ice cream top. So we ate one. We split it. It wasn't the finished thing. I know I wasn't supposed to do that, but that's the danger of having all the stuff be home when Minnie and Cal leave. But I still have more to do. I have to finish the coating. I have to put the peanuts on and then like give it a quick freeze so everything sets like they're not done. So the first thing I want to do is get to my magic shell. This is the chocolate that I had left over from coating the inside of the cones yesterday. Then I have coconut oil here. So basically a kind of homemade magic shell being like this like liquid chocolate mixture that hardens when it hits something cold, is basically coconut oil mixed with chocolate. I'm thinking that the peanuts have to be a dip, not a sprinkle, because there was pretty good peanut coverage on the drumsticks. I have an idea. I just think that I need to make a kind of indentation in the peanut mixture for every cone so that I can stick it in and I don't have to like smash it in there because the ice cream is gonna start to soften. All right, I'm gonna add a little coconut oil. I'm just gonna start with a couple of tablespoons. So this is unrefined, so it has a little bit of a coconutty flavor. You can use refined, which would be more neutral. But I think that when it's cold, you're not going to get much of the coconut. I'm just letting everything melt gently on the stove. So I'm going to pour the magic shell in here, but I also don't want it to cool off, so I'm going to put hot water in the outer measuring cup. I'll just use the water from the double boiler. That's what I'll do. This is totally melted. Gonna bring the bowl and the saucepan over. All right, that seems pretty good. Really, I'm just gauging the consistency. It's like, does it seem fluid enough to give me a thin, even coating? And I think it does. So I'm gonna pour into the measuring cup. I think that looks like a good amount. I'll definitely have enough to create the depth that I need for dipping. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna grab one and try it. I think that went pretty well. Did get a little bit of chocolate. That was the collective fear. I would get like drips in here. I feel like I need to revise my technique a little. I think I pressed a little too hard and the shell kind of like started to detach a little bit. Just wondering what I should be doing a little differently. I roll it like that, you know, like dip and then side roll. I feel like that worked pretty well. All right, that one worked really well. All right, one more. It's all the way back there. So I can grab it. I'm just obsessing a little bit about the coating, like exposing the ice cream in a couple places, but I should just stop and like not, I think that like this is exactly the point where I try to make it better and it just makes it worse. So I'm just gonna not touch them, let them harden in there for like 15 minutes. I open and close the freezer a lot, so I just want it to get cold. Stop it, she hates me. I love him so much, but he hates me. Okay, I mean, we did let it hang out for probably like half an hour. So I feel really good about the cones being solid and frozen, because what I really want to happen is to have like a shattering shell when I bite into it and not like melted ice cream. So I'm gonna grab one of mine, I'm gonna grab one of theirs, and we're gonna look at them side by side and I'm gonna taste. Right off the bat, it's like, mine is the jumbo size one because theirs is a lot slimmer. Thoughts, Harris?
You definitely captured the spirit of it.
I feel like I captured the box photo and not the actual. Mine looks a lot more like the picture than theirs does.
Scale to actual size.
Is it actual size, kind of?
It's pretty close.
It is pretty close. Hey, I did it. Like if you open the box, if you looked at the picture and then you open it and you got this or this one, which one would you be happier with? I think you'd be happier with this one. Can I taste it? Can I taste it?
Yeah, taste theirs. Get to know
Okay,
it.
well hold on. So just generally speaking, the cone length I nailed. The cone diameter, not so much. Like definitely there's a lot more ice cream in this one. But overall, like height, they're pretty much the same. Mine is just a little bit wider. Now that I look at theirs, I can see that theirs is definitely dipped. All right, I'm gonna taste theirs. I have to. All right. I get a lot of cold, kind of it. That's it. All right, I'm gonna bite into mine. I'm looking for a similar textural experience of like the cracking and then the creamy vanilla ice cream, but I want it to taste a lot better. Mmm. Look at that bite. It does taste like coconut a little. Maybe if I ever did this again, I would do a refined coconut oil, but I think the main upgrade here is really the ice cream. The shell is nice and thin. I wouldn't want it to be like so thick that you have to almost like chew it. It's really good.
I think you should eat down to the plug.
Yeah.
Oh God, where's Harris when you need him? My biggest desire for the cone, because I already know that tastes great, is that it's crunchy. Like a good piece of the cone. The cone, Archie, stop it. The cone really kind of is the best part. It's so caramelly and light and crispy. You can like see where I bit the like sort of web of air, little air pockets and bubbles. There's something that's happening with the malted milk and the ice cream and the coconut oil where it's just like really, and I see little vanilla flecks, which I love. It's so not too sweet, but at the same time, I definitely feel like I'm eating a drumstick. I know I like have to say this, but I really truly mean it. I fully nailed it. But it turned out honestly better than I thought it would. I mean, hello. My ice cream looks just like that. Also, my ice cream is yellow because it has egg yolks in it and cream. The last test is, do I have the chocolate plug at the bottom? But I'm not gonna eat it from the top, I'm just gonna eat it from the bottom. All right, all you wanted me to add more chocolate. I think we got it. How far up does it go? Eris ate it last night. I ate the top. He ate the rest of it. It's like too much chocolate. It's really frozen. It adds a really nice bitterness, so I think the rest of it really needs. It's still going. I don't know. I can't even eat anymore.
Just finish the whole thing.
Oh God, I can't eat this whole thing. Yeah, it's a lot of work. It took me a day plus. Would I make these again? Is that what you're asking me? Not really. So I'm very excited for more episodes like this one of recreating sort of favorite nostalgic treats. I have my list of things that I'm into recreating. Let us know if you have any requests or particular favorites that you would like to see. It's a chance for me to play around a little bit and iterate. Lots of learning, which I love, and good experience under my belt, and I'm very excited to do another one of these. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.
I'm going to eat one.
You want to eat one? You guys should eat one.